Hello and welcome to Makeshift Minis. Today I'm going to be making a beholder. The beholder is one of the most well-known monsters from D&D, and anyone who's played can tell you what kind of havoc it can wreak on a tabletop. I start by straightening out 5 or 6 paper clips. They're mostly for the eye stalk since the beholder's just ahead. Cutting most of the wires in half lets me use less wire and get them to a more convenient length for the eye stalks. Using a bit of hot glue, I attach the bead to the end of the wires to make the eye stalk. I need to make 10 of them, so making them takes a bit. I crumple a sheet of tinfoil to make a rough shape for the body. Using foil instead of clay allows me to use less clay, which makes it lighter and cure faster. Once I'm satisfied with the shape, I use the bottom of an X-Acto knife to make a divot for the eye socket. After test fitting a large bead in the socket, I glue it down for the main eye. I shape and trim the remaining wire so I can use it as an armature for the bottom jaw. Once I'm satisfied with the result, I slide it into the holes I poked into the body with an awl. With the armature attached, I glue down tinfoil to fill out the bottom jaw. As the glue hardens, I use my fingers to shape the foil around the jaw. One by one, I glue pieces of toothpick to the beholder's jaws for teeth. With the teeth in place, I begin attaching the eye stalks to the main body. Covering the eye stalks in hot glue helps secure everything in place as well as gives me a nice surface to work on later. With the base of the beholder finished, I pose the eye stalks and make the occasional touch-up. To refine the mini shape, I covered the mini in DM Scotty's porcelain clay. I start with the eye stalks because I seem to be in the mood to do as many small steps as I can. As I start working on other parts of the beholder, I cover them in clay and then use a wet finger to blend everything together, leaving detail work for later. I begin shaping the face of the beholder by adding worms of clay to make the upper lip and the eyelids. I use my fingers to push the clay to cover the scalp evenly. Once it's in place, I use my sculpting tools to smooth out anything between the eye stalks. I fill out the bottom jaw with a worm of clay. It's a little bit more frustrating than it should have been, but eventually I get everything in place. While I wait for the beholder to cure, I start working on the base. I begin with making a pedestal, which I make out of scrap pieces of EVA foam. To reinforce the pedestal, I use a wire bent into the shape of a staple. I then use my awl to put holes in the pedestal for the wire. Since foam has very little texture, I cover it in tissue paper and watered down PVA glue. It also covers any of the seams on the support column. I attach the pedestal to a bottle cap with some superglue. I then bend the wires out at an angle to make sure it doesn't come out even if the glue fails. With everything done, I glue the beholder to the base. After priming the Mini, I start blocking out the base coat on each of the areas. I begin by base coating the pedestal a dark gray. The majority of the beholder's body is base coated in a dark purple, not that you could tell it was purple because of my lighting. I take my time carefully painting each eye in off-white. For the last base coat, I paint the teeth yellow. With the base coats dry, I begin dry brushing other colors to add some variation. I start with the lightest colors by dry brushing the eyes with white. A quick dry brush of off-white really improves the look of the teeth. To add some depth to the main body, I dry brush on some light purple. Before I move on to the base, I dry brush the Mini with a light blue. Working my way up through the shades, I dry brush the pedestal a medium gray. It's only really noticeable on the edges, but it is there. After trying a few things, I settle on dry brushing white on the pedestal to get the details to show nicely. A big part of the beholder's lore is that each of its eyes have a different ability. With that in mind, I paint each iris a different color. The main eye gets a thin coat of silver paint, which worked out better than I expected it to. Painting the base black finishes the Mini, and then it's on to the glamour shots. I love how this thing came out. It's weird, eye-catching, and it certainly looks better than my first attempt. My only problem was when I tried to add gloss to the eyes, I ruined a few of them. please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Take care, be well, and until next time.